Skin the Hard Away Southern T. Back with another EP. And y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you here for a good time or you here for a long time. If you could, do your boy a favor. Smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Today we here with a follow-up EP. Follow-up Southern T. Today we here to follow up on this Chris Eubank and Conor Benn situation. Now, reports came out. Actually, I'm not even gonna say reports because it came straight from Chris Eubank Sr. Last week, not even last week, earlier this week, Chris Eubank, he came out and he voiced his displeasures about Chris Eubank Jr., having to fight Conor Benn at a catchweight. He so much, was displeased with the situation that he stated that Chris Eubank Jr. won't be taking part in the fight versus Conor Benn. News broke, it got around. I broke the news as well, along with, many other sites as well, that the fight had got canceled because Chris Eubank Sr., right, he came out and he said that Chris Eubank Jr. wouldn't be taking part in it because the weight cut would be too dangerous for him to make, and he didn't. What's good, DS, and he didn't want to lose, his son and all that kind of stuff, right? So the feel was that the fight was off around, but Team Chris Eubank, right? They came out and they stated that they plan to move forward with the fight. They plan to move forward with the fight as is. They plan to move forward with the fight as planned. Right. So just for clarification, now the fight is still on. They also said that they had never intended to pull out of the fight to begin with, and that Chris Eubank Sr. was the one who felt, who had a problem with the weight class, and that Chris Eubank Sr. was just speaking from a place of his own, feelings, and not necessarily the thoughts of, the team. The Zone actually came out and said that we're in business with Chris Eubank Jr., not Chris Eubank Sr. So, Chris Eubank Sr. saying that the fight isn't going to take place, doesn't really mean much until Chris Eubank Jr. comes out and he seconds it, right? And since then, Team Eubank, they stated that the fight will take place. I'm about to read. What's good, Charles? Appreciate you signing through this, John Charles. I'm finna bring my camera up in just a second, y'all. Give me a sec. I'm looking for my remote. Yeah, my bad. So Chris Eubank Jr. and his team, they came out and stated that they are still planning to go forward with the fight. You know what I mean? So I guess we could all, lock back in for the Chris Eubank Conor Benn thing, right? And I'm glad that Chris Eubank Jr., decided to go forward with it, because him pulling out would have been extremely detrimental to his career and where he's at right now. You know what I mean? It would be extremely detrimental to his career and where he at right now, especially with, the whole, the KFC and the making weight thing and the 60% thing like that. Ronald Francisco said, sad to say, Conor very young to in front Eubank, easy fight for Eubank. We about to get to it, man. We about to hold on, y'all. My bad. But hey, yeah, so we are going to get the Chris Eubank We are going to get the Chris Eubank versus Conor Benn fight. I'm about to read you the article so y'all could, so y'all can hear it word for word, verbatim. So y'all know I ain't just pulling this out of my ass. Now I waited a couple days, you know what I mean, to make sure that I had got all the information, because as soon as Chris Eubank Senior, came out and said that he was pulling Chris Eubank Jr. out of the fight, you know what I mean. I hopped right on it, type deal, and then the news that Chris Eubank, it was only Chris Eubank Senior, they had a problem, with the weight. Not Chris Eubank Jr. Then that came out. I waited a couple days on it to see exactly, what will come from there. And I got all the info that I need right now. Now, me personally, I'm gonna read the article right, and then I'm gonna tell y'all why I think Chris Eubank Jr. and Chris Eubank Senior said what they had to say. Anyway. All right, so I'm about to read. I'm about to read the article off to y'all. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Chris Eubank reports. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it straight. From here. Reports. Reports had stated that Chris Eubank Sr. wanted to pull his son out of the fight over fears he couldn't lose to 3 extra pounds safely. A media frenzy claimed the fight was off as fans bombarded hotels, ticket providers over whether the fight will go ahead. As it turns out, Eubank Jr. versus Benn is unaffected by Senior's apprehension as the pair of fighters continue in their preparations. This is Sutherland. Sutherland said, very clear statement. The fight is absolutely on. That's all I could really say about it right now. I've seen it came from one comment to one journalist, which spread like wildfire. We don't have a contract with Chris Eubank Sr. We have a contract with Chris Eubank Jr. He was sparring yesterday. My only issue now is finding sparring partners because he's going through them like a hot knife through butter. What's good, Omega Red? Appreciate you sliding through this, John Omega. Glad you could make it. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button. He's on his threat to do everything in his power to scrap the O2 main event. Sutherland ruled out any threats by Eubank Sr. The fight is very much on. The contract is between us. There's Weiserman Boxing and Eubank Jr. So I don't see what legal route there could be if that's the case. I haven't spoken to Chris Eubank Sr. I have spoken to Jr. He reported yesterday that he had a very good sparring session last night. For us, it's just about pushing and pushing. We all know it's a massive event. Eubank Jr. and Benn sold out within hours of tickets finally went on sale. This despite a hiccup with the new ticketing partner. The clash will go ahead as planned, provided Eubank Jr. does make it down to the stipulated weight agreement. Dropping to 157 could prove a tough task for a fighter who's been campaigning at 160 and has campaigned at 168 in the years earlier. But I ain't finna read all that shit. Long story short, man, the fight is still on between Eubank and Conor Benn. Right? The fight is still on. Chris Eubank Sr., right? What's good on Omega? I spoke to Omega then. Chris Eubank Sr. was the one who voiced his displeasure, right? Not Chris Eubank Jr. It was Chris Eubank Sr., that had issues with the weight. Not Chris Eubank Jr., coming from the report, so the fight's still on. But let me tell you what Southern T think. Can I talk to y'all for a second? Can we talk for a second? I ain't number 5 of y'all in here, right? I need one of y'all answer my question. Can I talk to y'all for a second? Can I tell you what Southern T think? Just happened right here. Can I tell y'all what Southern T think just happened? Southern T think, right? What I think is that Chris Eubank, right? He's pretending. I think Chris Eubank is two things. I think two things happen, right? I think Chris Eubank Jr. is pretending that, this gonna be an easy fight, that this gonna be a breeze, you know what I mean? That the weight ain't this, that the weight ain't that, right? I think he's pretending to do that. He's saying that publicly, he's voicing that publicly, but I think behind closed doors, behind the scenes, I think that it's killing him to make this weight. I think that, him making this weight is a lot harder than he initially thought. Okay, y'all can hear me. I believe that maybe now he's taking this camp serious, right? Maybe now he's just starting to train. But at first, I really, like he said, I really don't think that he was training at first. And I kind of think that it's catching up to him, you know what I mean? Type this. So I really do think that he having trouble making his weight. Now, the whole Chris Eubank Sr. thing, right? Yes, I don't think a mind game. I don't think him and his daddy. Now, I don't think those are mind game. I think those are real. I think his daddy really know what's going on, right? I think his daddy really know what's going on. His daddy really know what's going on the inside, and his daddy and him are worried about this weight. So I think his daddy came out and said that. I think his daddy came out and said that because he wants to have the rehydration clause removed altogether, so Chris Eubank can rehydrate to whatever he want to rehydrate to. I think that was the intention for. I think he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna say this right. Maybe I could get Conor Benn and his side to panic a little bit, right? And then I can get the rehydration clause taken away, type deal. But Conor Benn never panicked. He said, I'm in the gym right now, and somebody having daddy issues. And after Conor Benn said that, that's when the reports came out. Oh well, yeah, he's still gonna fight him. But I think, this was a swing in the air to try to get the regeneration clause removed, to try to scare Conor Benn, like, oh, well, he's not going to fight. Well, we'll take the weight clause back. But Conor Benn, didn't fall for it. So they had to come out and be like, well, now we still going to fight. You know what I mean? I think they did kind of help promote it. You know what I mean? Because I tell you this, now more people were talking about the fight being canceled than in America, right? Because it's a huge fight over there in the UK. It's a huge fight over there. I'm excited for the fight as well, right? But as a whole in America, we kind of indifferent about it over here, right? I think Chris Eubank Sr. directly or indirectly, right? Him saying that they would want to pull out the fight and cancel it, I think that helped bring a little more attention to it, being so close to the fight as well. So while I think that, right, Chris Eubanks Jr., I personally think that he was never really going to pull out anyway, right? Because when I first heard Chris Eubanks Sr. talking about it, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I know he's not thinking about pulling out after all that shit that he done said. That'd be an extremely bad look for him to pull out of this fight after everything that had been said, right? But I do think that he really don't want to have, their clause in there. So I think this was a way. To try to get Conor Benn to panic on that weight clause again. I mean, to try to panic on that weight clause to get it taken off if he could. They do was a last attempt to get the weight clause taken off, right? Because people say it's mind games, but Chris Eubank Jr. is always talking about this weight. He always talking about this weight. At this point, what mind game is he playing? He playing the mind game on himself. You know what I mean? Constantly talking about the weight. So I really do think it's an issue. I really do think the weight is an issue. He would much rather have that clause off. Now, I never thought he was pulling out the fight. I do think he wanted to get rid of that weight clause, right? And I think indirectly this did help promote the fight. I think now more people care over here stateside Now I think they got more people to watch it, right? Oh, it was canceled because Eubank, getting cold feet, and then now the fight back on. I think that turned the spark a little bit. You know what I mean? So I think it worked. I think it's going to work out for the better for them, especially over here. Because I personally seen more people talking about Chris Eubank pulling out than them actually, having the fight. When I see more people talk about them pulling out than actually them having a fight when the shit was announced. You know what I mean? Heavy Bag says salute T. Promotion might be taking over Regis. Program versus pay to fight. Suleiman, the president of WBC, said the current promoter is in danger of losing the fight and facing a fine. Okay. What why is Marv Nation? Why is Marv Nation in danger of losing the fight? Heavy Bag. Shout out my guy Heavy Bag. Damn it, man. What's good, damn it, man? Appreciate you sliding through this, John. Damn it, man. Glad you could make it. Glad you could make it, pimp. We ain't here talking about Conor Benn and Chris Eubank. I'm in here just doing my due diligence to report, that the fight is still on. I put out a report earlier this week about what Chris Eubank Sr. said. Let me go get my weed and my wraps. I put out a report earlier this week about what Chris Eubank said. Chris Eubank Sr. had to say, about him pulling his son out. But Team Eubank Jr. came out a few days later, and they was like, nah, the fight's still on. You know what I mean? So I'm just doing my due diligence to let y'all know that the fight is still on. Per Team Eubank Jr. The fight is still on. What's good, Ghost? Appreciate you sliding through this chat. What's good, Ghost? He said Eubank Jr. ducked a title shot for this circus. What title shot did he duck, Ghost? What title shot could you be talking about, Ghost? Shout out my guy, Ghost. Monster Musa Lifestyle. What's good, King? Appreciate you sliding through this show, Monster Musa. Glad you could make it. Glad you could make it. We're in here, I'm in here updating the information on the Benn and Eubank fight. I'm in here updating y'all on the information about the Eubank and Benn fighting, that the fight is on. You know what I mean? Per Team Eubank Jr. And I'm telling y'all like what I think now, why I think it happened, like why I think they did it. And I really do think that Chris Eubank Jr. is having a problem, you know what I mean, in this camp, making his way, you know what I mean? Because just the feel that I'm getting around the Eubank Jr. camp, it ain't a good, like it don't feel like that team on the same page. We clearly know him and his pops not on the same page, right? Because his pops came out and said, I don't want my son fighting the fight. And then his son came out and said, you know what, nah, everything good. We still good. So we know they not on the same page as far as that. Chris Eubank at the press conference, I noticed Chris Eubank at the press conference, he mentioned the weight a whole lot. And Conor Benn was like, bro, your team is the one that came up with the weight. And Eubank was like, oh, well, he was like, I know, I'm not gonna play. I'm just saying, I haven't been, it's going to be hard for me to make the weight. Making the weight is the thing. That's the biggest part. It's like, it's a reason this weight keep coming up. Like it ain't coming up on, hell yeah, Monster Moose. I'm waiting on y'all to cash me. I'm waiting on y'all to send me the cash, man. Monster Moose, hell yeah. Ain't they just dropped the undercards? Hell yeah. You know it. Of course we is. Hell yeah. But this weight keep coming up for a reason, right? Like, I don't think it's on accident, right? I don't think it's a mistake. What's good, Carl? I don't think it's by mistake. Shout out to my guy, Carl, sliding through this joint. Appreciate you sliding through this joint, Carl. I don't think it's by mistake, right, that this weight issue, keep coming up. That it keep this little birdie keep tweeting. You know what I mean? Why we constantly? Let's be real with y'all. Let me ask y'all a question while y'all in here. For the people that's in here, right? I got 11 people in here, right? For the people that's in here, let me ask y'all a question. What's the first thing that come to mind? What's the most brought up topic about this Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank fight. Whenever you hear Conor Benn versus Eubank, what's the first thing that you hear about? When you hear from the Conor Benn camp, what's the first thing you hear about? When you hear from the Eubank Jr. camp, what's the first thing you hear about? Every time you hear something from the Chris Eubank Jr. camp, what's the first thing that they say? Whenever you hear Chris Eubank Jr. talk, what is he talking about? You know what I mean? For the most part, just y'all and y'all personally. Y'all personally. Whenever you hear Eubank talking, what is it about? It's about food. It's about the weight. That's not on accident. That's not on accident. And people saying, well, people talking about he playing mind games. He playing mind games. Conor Benn ain't a guy that you play, it's the weights. See, heavy bag, you get what I'm saying? And that's for a reason, heavy bag. That's not on accident. Watch this. Just real quick, just a couple more examples. When you hear about Earl and Bud and shit like that, what's the thing you hear about the most? Money. You know what I mean? When you heard about Fury and Tyson, Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, what you kept hearing about? The contracts. You know what I mean? The thing that you hear about the most is normally that should be real. Like that shit ain't on accident. That ain't just for promotion. You know what I mean? If you constantly hearing about it, right? AJ and Wilder, it was the contract situation, right? Earl and Bud, it's a money thing, right? You know what I mean? Eubank and Conor Benn, you constantly hearing about the weight for a reason. He said Chris not making the weight fight week. The fight will move up to 160. I don't think it will, Ghost. I don't think it is, Ghost. Because Eubank already signed up for it. I don't think it is, Ghost. He's out here. Both fighters argue about the weight, the whole entire build up. Facts, bro. Like heavy bag, and then heavy bag. Let's reel up. I'm finna put heavy bag coming up there. Heavy bag. Shout out my guy, Real Meat C2. Appreciate you sliding through this, John. Real Meat. Glad you can make it. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Don't know if it's your first time, but if you could not make it your last time, smash that like button for your boy. Heavy bag. I'm gonna put that up there for a second because I wanna read that out loud and I wanna rap about that. Cause let's get into that for a second. He said, I heard both fighters argue about the weight, the whole entire build up. Heavy bag, right? Now look, have we really been hearing both fighters argue about the weight, right? Or have we been hearing Chris Eubank Jr. bring up the weight and then Conor Benn have to set him straight? You know what I mean? Because every time Chris Eubank Jr. get to talking about the weight, Conor Benn say the same thing. Your team is the one who picked the weight. You know what I mean? Conor Benn said, bet K. Yo, Conor Benn been saying the whole time, yo, your team is the one that came up with this weight. Your team, your side came up with this. I didn't come up with this. You know what I mean? So it sounds like I was saying earlier, the Eubank team is not all on the same page because it don't sound like that Chris Eubank is comfortable with this weight, right? His father not comfortable with this weight. But Conor Benn just virtually told us that shit, the team Eubank is the one that brought the weight to him. You know what I mean? Because Conor Benn said, I didn't pick a weight. Your team is the one that picked. He said, they brought it to me, and I said, yes. It don't sound like they all on the same page. I don't think Eubank is comfortable with this weight. Now whether he can make it or not, that's different, but I don't think he's comfortable with the whole situation. Yeah, K, the fight on, K. Yep, the fight is on. The fight is on. That's the whole reason for this EP. Yep, the fight is on, y'all. If you're just getting in, yep, the fight is on. We just having a conversation about it now. Go said, see, he's not making the weight. He signed up for it. But this is uncommon. Conor saying he won't care about the weight. They'll say move up or we out close to the fight. I think Ghost. I'm gonna put what go. I think goes. I think that was what they was trying to do. I think that's what they was trying to do with the Chris Eubank Sr. coming out and voicing his opinion. Like I think that was I think there was an attempt to get him out the way. You know what I mean? I think there was an attempt. There was a indirect attempt to get him out the way, right? Now, whether they both was on the same page or not, or whether his pops went out there and did it on his own, right? But I think there was an attempt to, to get the weight clause, removed. Because I really do think he having trouble making weight. You know what I mean? He just don't sound like a confident man. Like he just don't sound like a confident man when it come, to this, to this fight. And maybe the lack of confidence is coming from him having to make the weight. You know what I mean? But I've heard Chris Eubank Jr. in other fights, right? Now he always, slick at the mouth, right? He always, an intellectual, right? He always try to come off as an intellectual, right? But I never heard him I never heard him downplay himself so much before a fight. It's like he like, well, I know I'm only gonna be 60%. I haven't been this weight since I was 18. I would beat you easy. Everybody knows that it has to be at a certain weight for you to even stand a chance. You know what I mean? It's just like that don't sound like, if I'm a Chris Eubank Jr. fan, I'm not extremely confident in my fighter right now about how he's sounding, leading up, being so close to this fight. You know what I mean? He said, yeah, that man needs a man on the weight, but he didn't train how he should, which I think Chris himself would say fight week, the way the networks will pressure too. The networks want that fight. They're waiting for the promotion to come close to the end. Yeah, I mean, I can see that, Ghost. I get what you're saying. This like, okay, so what I'm saying is, right, this might have been the last, or the last attempt, from Team Junior to do it without, backlash, right? Because in a perfect world, right, if his daddy see it and then they get the weight changed, then it ain't Chris Eubank Jr. that said it, it's his daddy that said it, right? Boom. So what you saying is, Ghost, that since that ain't work, right, you think, they gonna let them put their money into it, they gonna let, them spend all their money, right, investing in all that shit, and then pull a well. He just can't do it. So he either go fight or they go call the fight off total or in whole. And then what you saying is because Conor Benn, right, really don't give a fuck about shit like that, he gonna fight the fight anyway. He'll be pressured into fight. Well, two things, right? Conor Benn might not give a fuck. He'll fight the fight anyway. Or, right, Team Benn go be pressured to go and continue with the fight anyway because all the promotion, has been done. They put a lot of money into it. I get what you're saying. Now that'll be a cold move. That'll be a cold game right there. Yeah, that'll be a cold game right there. Boy, that's a dangerous game right there, Ghost. I know exactly what you're saying. That's a dangerous game right there. He said, yeah, they playing hangman with the networks. Once the investment is too deep, they gonna hang Conor with the words he spoke. He don't care about the weight. The networks want to fight too much there. Yeah. I can see that. And then Conor, truthfully, Conor the kind of dude he'll fuck around if it really come down to it, right? If it really come down to it, he the kind of dude that take the fight anyway. But it's also it's the clause in that contract too, Ghost. So where if Chris Eubank, overweight by a certain amount, it's $100,000 for every pound. You know what I mean? That's in the contract. He can come in overweight, but it's gonna be $100,000 for every stone that he overweight. You know what I mean? So there's still that part of it we gotta think about too. Heavyweight said, "T, I'm curious. I'm not a betting man, but what would be the best bet Now, for the best betting line pilot is a Conor by knockout. Matter of fact, let's look at it right now. We can look at that right now, real quick. We can do that real quick. Sitting right here, action. Matter of fact, yeah, we can do that real quick. Sitting right here, action. Yeah. So at this point, just let y'all know the fight is still on, right? But I think this weight is a bigger issue than everybody believe, and I think it's a bigger issue than what people let known, because Chris Eubank Chris Eubank Jr. himself keeps talking about it, right? And I don't think it would keep coming up if it wasn't really an issue. Like, now, rather he making jokes about it, or rather it's his father saying that, I think it's a dangerous situation, right? The weight keeps coming up. Conor being knockout plus 430, my guy. Conor being knockout plus 430. Yep. $25 on the Conor being knockout get you 107. Conor being knockout will be the best one. Eubank by decision is plus 380. That's a good one right there. Eubank by decision, right? Eubank by decision, they get you roughly. So add the money that you bet, right? And you add your 95, right? That'll get you 120. Chris Eubank points, 25 will get you 120. Conor being knockout, 25 will get you 130, 132 basically. It get you 132. So Eubank points will get you 120. Conor being knockout will get you 132. Conor being on points. Conor being on points will get you the same thing as Chris Eubank on points. No, Conor being on points. Okay, yeah. Okay, so Chris Eubank on points get you 120. Conor being on points get you 130. So Eubank points is 130. Conor being on points is 120. Right. Conor being knockout is the best odds. Conor being knockout get you the most money. Yeah. He said team Eubank has played these games before multiple times, especially when they were in line to fight Triple G years ago. Before Triple G ever fought Canelo, the father came out with something first. Bruce Lee Fans Club said Billy Joe Saunders and Nigel Benn are spawned with Conor Benn from today. Okay, he said Chris Eubank Sr. comes out first with what they want. Test the water last minute, Chris himself, and he doesn't move from what he says. That's the Eubank blueprint. So we're about to see Honda and go. We're about to see. Y'all, quick. Do y'all care more? Do y'all care more? Do y'all care more about this fight? Now since they dropped the undercard fights too for Saturday, they got I know that's not right. Top Rank got a call Friday. They probably just got the bid now. But yeah, my bad. So are y'all more or less? Excited for this fight? To Conor Benn with K. Eubank Jr. in 4 rounds. Oh damn, you got Conor Benn by knockout in 4. Is it T go back to him versus Triple G when the first came to light? The time when KL4 dude Chris used that situation to secure a multi-fight deal with the zone type paydays with the network, which had no fights. Yeah. I think this is what I say. Like, right. I'm a Conor Benn fan, right? But realistically, right, logically, right, uh Chris Eubank Jr. would have to be the favorite, right? He would have to be the favorite, just given the situation. He's the bigger guy fighting at, the bigger weight, right? He's a former champion, right? Former two division champion, if I'm not mistaken, right? Former two division champ. He's the bigger guy, right? So he would have to be the favorite. But a guy like Conor Benn is dangerous. You know what I mean? Conor Benn is hungry. You know what I mean? Conor Benn, he has power. Now we don't know how his power is going to translate to one, right? 154, 160, right? We don't know how his power is going to translate up there to 160 to 154, right? But when you factor into it the fact that the raw athleticism, the raw aggression, the power of Conor Benn is what's intriguing to us, right? The history of the Benn and Eubank name and fight is what's intriguing to us. But Chris Eubank Jr. should be the favorite, right? You know what I mean? Chris Eubank should be the favorite. But if you watch Chris Eubank Jr. last fight, you know what I mean? He left a lot to be desired. He left a lot on the table. Like he was boxing that guy, right? Who we felt like he could have knocked out. I felt like within that fight, right, he could have stopped that guy. But it's like he chose to use his feet, move around, use his athleticism. When it looked like that, he should have put that guy out of there. Now, I saw in the press conference, right, the promoter made the joke, said Chris Eubank Jr. broke his hand in that fight. And Chris Eubank cleared all that up. He said, "Nah, I didn't break my hand. Let's not be ridiculous." So he chose to fight that way. He chose to fight like a boxer and on the back foot. My thing is, that's a double-edged sword when you're going up against Conor Benn, right? Because by you being, the way that I'm thinking that, right, the best way Chris Eubank Jr. to win this fight will be for him to come forward on Conor Benn and put pressure on Conor Benn. What's good, young Ben there, right? I'm thinking the best way for him to beat Conor will be to come forward and put pressure on Conor Benn. I think him trying to box Conor Benn, right, would give Conor, that's more natural for Conor, right? Him being the pressure fighter, seeking his prey, trying to get him out of there. That's where Conor Benn is comfortable at. I think you want to make Conor Benn uncomfortable in this fight. If Chris, in my mind, right, if Chris Eubank Jr. is going to win this fight, what's good, young billionaire? If is that the real young billionaire? Chris, in my mind, right, you got to make Conor Benn uncomfortable. He got to make this fight look like Josh Taylor versus Regis program. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say it again. He got to make this fight look like Josh Taylor versus Regis program. You know how Josh Taylor made Regis program uncomfortable. Like before that, we had never seen anybody put Regis on the back foot. We never seen anybody, take the aggression out of Regis. Like on the back end of that fight, Regis kind of lost some of that luster, some of that fire on them punches because Josh Taylor was able to stand up to a lot of what Regis threw. Yeah, I thought he had a wrench too. I thought he had a wrench too. But yeah, I think he gotta, make this look like Josh Taylor versus Prograis. Josh Taylor took Prograis out of his element. And I think because he was able to stand up to Regis, a lot of Regis punches, right? Regis had never had nobody take him into deep waters like that and stand up to him. So Josh, in effect, by him moving forward and putting pressure on him, right, it kind of wore Regis down a little bit. And they gave Josh a chance to, come back towards the back end of that fight. Regis started off on fire in that fight. And I expect Conor Benn to start off on fire in that fight. But Chris Eubank Jr. is going to have to go through the storm, I think, to come out of here with this win. He got to go through that storm. I think if he, in this fight, if he comes to a point where he said, well, okay, I'm going to fight him off the back foot, I think that would be a mistake for him. You know what I mean? I think that puts Conor Benn more in his natural habitat. That puts him more in his natural zone. You know what I mean? I think if, and it's going to be dangerous for you, man. That's why I'm saying he's going to have to go through the fire. That's why I'm saying, like, it's going to be interesting to see just how Conor Benn's power does translate. Because I think Eubank will have to go through that fire in order to beat him. For Conor Benn, it's an uphill battle for him. I ain't gonna lie. It's an uphill battle for him. I almost see Conor Benn two things, right? Two things. I'm gonna go fight this blunt up on this because I see I'm gonna be here for a second because my mind going right now. And I fuck with Benn, you know what I mean? Fuck with Benn. But Eubank is the favorite, right? I just told you how Eubank got him. We would have to put that pressure on him because I think boxing will put Benn back in his normal state. Right. So for Benn, right? Benn, what's good, Phil? Appreciate you sliding through this, John G5. Glad you can make it. Appreciate you sliding through this, John. Brother 5, we in this thing having a boxing conversation, I ain't expect to be on this long. I'm just rolling. Shooting shit. Did y'all get asked when y'all came in? Really appreciate y'all sliding through this jump. But yeah, for Benn, he's gonna be fighting an uphill battle, right? Now, if Eubank Jr. comes out there and he boxes Conor Benn right, say he comes out there and he fight like he fought the last fight. Say he come out there and he said, nah, I ain't getting none. You ain't getting none. Okay, but if he come out there and he fight like he fought the last fight, right? I think Conor Benn gonna knock his ass out if he go out there trying to boss Conor Benn and be pretty and be cute. If he go out there and he fight Conor Benn like he been trying to, I froze up. I don't know why I keep freezing up, y'all. But if he go out there and he try to fight Conor Benn out finesse like he been in these press conferences, like he been real finesse. He been real finesse, and he been my shit is fucking up, yo. She making me mad, bro. He been real finesse in these press conferences and shit, right? If he come out there and he try to fight Conor Benn finesse, I think Benn gonna knock his ass out, right? But if Eubank go out there and he put that pressure on Conor Benn, right? He put Conor Benn on his back foot. Because I never seen Conor Benn fight on the back foot. Never seen Conor Benn have to fight on the back foot. It was good, DS, PJ Shine through this John DS. Never seen him have to fight on the back foot. So if he can come out here and he can put Conor Benn on his back foot, right? And let's say Conor Benn power is not able to affect Chris Eubank Jr., right? Or let's say Conor Benn power not able to affect Chris Eubank Jr. enough, right? To where he could hurt him, where he could stun him, then Chris Eubank Jr. go beat the hell out of my boy Conor Benn. And I hope that's not the case, right? But if he could take Conor Benn out of his element, if he could put Conor Benn on his back foot, if Conor Benn power can't affect him, right? The way that, Conor Benn is used to his power affecting people, it could be a long, right? Or a real short night for Conor Benn. Yeah, right. If he can't, if Conor Benn power, can't affect him, or right, if Conor Benn can't box off his back foot, if Conor Benn can't box, like let's say Conor Benn power, don't affect him, right? But he could box off his back foot, right? And then he could make it a boxing match. But Conor Benn is not really comfortable boxing off his back foot. We haven't seen him do it. Don't know if he possesses it much, right? So he's not able to box off his back foot, and his power don't translate. Chris Eubank Jr. probably go knock Conor Benn out. You know what I mean? Now again, I'm saying like Eubank is the favorite in this fight. He should be the favorite, right? And it's gonna be an uphill battle for Conor Benn. Really, if you thinking now, if you picking Conor Benn to win this fight, right? This is what you thinking. If you picking Conor Benn to win this fight, you thinking that he'll be able to put Chris Eubank Jr. on his back foot. You thinking that Conor Benn will be athletic enough to catch Chris Eubank, right? To track him down and catch him and hurt him and possibly put him out of there. If you thinking that, Conor Benn could win this fight. If you thinking Conor Benn could win this fight, you will have to be thinking that Conor Benn is probably going to get the stoppage. My thing with Benn, the biggest question mark for Benn, right, is going to be because I don't think it's going to be if he could take Chris Eubanks' power or Eubanks' punch, right? I think the question for Benn is going to be how his power translates to Chris Eubank. I think that's going to be the biggest question. If we go out there right, Conor Benn hit Chris Eubank with like one of those straights, one of those patented straights that he like to throw, and Eubank walks straight through it, no bugs, no stun, no nothing like that. If he able to eat it, then everything that Conor Benn has been working on is going to all go to hell. It's going to all be for naught. You know what I mean? That's the biggest question. That's a big question. Now, we all know I'm a Conor Benn fan, right? But for me, right, the scariest thing right now is Conor Benn hitting Chris Eubank and nothing happens. But what I'm thinking gonna happen is Conor Benn go hit Chris Eubank, and I'm thinking Chris Eubank go get on his bike. I'm thinking Chris Eubank go get on his bike. And y'all know how this go. Either Chris Eubank Jr. has one of the best chins in boxing. When he moved to 168, he was walking around 167, fighting 68, getting hit by hard punches, eating the shots. When Chris Eubank get hit, he get on his bike. He get on his bike. He get to going the other way. Yeah, Chris Eubank got a chin over. He's fought some punches. Yeah, true. Never even been buzzed. I seen him buzzed a couple times. Don't think when he get hit though, Chris Eubank Jr. He got a good poker face. See, he play poker. He literally play poker. He literally play poker. So when Chris Eubank get hit, Chris Eubank one of them dudes that take the walk in the park. He ain't one of them dudes that get hit right and you see him stumble or he stop fight or he might smack. He don't. He just take a walk in the park. You'll think he just boxing. Cause Eubank get hit right. He'll get hit right. He'll move his head. He'll move his head a little bit. Touch his nose something. He'll get the box and walking around throwing his jab. But the whole time that nigga really hurt. But he got a good poker face, right? You did not hurt, right? You didn't stun him enough to wobble him enough, but you stunned him enough to wake him up a little bit. Because Cool Boy Steph do the same thing. They get hit sometimes, and they'll take their little step back, and they'll walk around the ring like they boxing or something. They'll start doing like some footwork shit. They got good poker faces. You know what I mean? He said, go do you think? It's gonna be a good fight. Like it's gonna, you know what? And then it could look. It's a possibility, right? Like because of the weight issue, right? Because of the weight thing, it's a possibility that Ben could hit Chris Eubank and his body could react in a way that he never reacted before, right? Because you got to think Billy Joe beat Chris Eubank Jr., right? Billy Joe is a better, know what I'm saying, Ghost? Billy Joe, right? Billy Joe is a better pure boxer than than Conor Benn, right? But I'd be willing to argue that shit. Conor Benn may hit just as hard as Billy Joe. Billy Joe not a power puncher at 168, 160, right? He's not a power puncher there, but he's a guy that can compete there, right? So let's just say that Conor Benn hits as hard. Let's just say that Conor Benn hits as hard as Billy Joe. Now I ain't talking about the scorecards. Goes. I'm strictly talking about they power. Like, I'm saying, Billy Joe not a huge puncher, right? So I'm saying, like, even if Conor Benn punching power don't translate right, a guy like Billy Joe without the power was able to beat Eubank. So let's say that so let's say that so we know that Eubank Jr. and that was a younger Eubank, right? That was a younger Eubank. Actually, in this situation, true enough, you're going by age and experience, right? Conor Benn would actually beat Eubank Jr. and Billy Joe would actually be fucking Chris Eubank Jr., right? In this situation, right? But I'm talking strictly from the power. So let's say that Conor Benn power don't translate. We seen that you could outbox Eubank Jr., right? Now that was a younger Eubank Jr., right? But we seen that you could outbox him. Now, I would say Conor Benn probably would hit as hard as Billy Joe hits at 160, right? So if his power is anything better than Billy Joe's, right? If it's anything better than Billy Joe's, that drastically increases Conor Benn's odds of winning this fight. And that's what most of us are thinking. Most of us are thinking when Conor Benn put hands on Chris Eubank, that's going to send Eubank backwards, right? So let's say that when Conor Benn does hit Chris Eubank and it sends him backwards, right? But you got Conor Benn applying the pressure. You got Benn coming forward. You got Benn winning the geography of the fight. And by geography, I mean you got him winning the theoretics of the fight, the dramatics of the fight. You got it looked like he's winning the fight. It looks like he's walking them geography. That's what I mean by he walking them down. He went in the ring about it. Like it looked like he being active, Conor being active. Let's say that he walking Chris Eubank Jr. down all night, and Chris Eubank Jr. is on his, bike boxing. I believe that edge goes to Conor Benn. It's just yeah, it goes. Goes you in my head right now. Goes, I'm trying to walk. I'm trying to build y'all. I'm trying to build y'all up to a point, and Ghost keep saying what the fuck I'm trying to build y'all up to before I get the shit out. But yeah, so if he, so that even if like Chris Eubank is the better boxer, right? Because he is the better boxer, right? More experienced guy, he would be the better boxer. But Conor Benn is athletic enough, right? He's athletic enough, right, to be able to move with Chris Eubank. He's actually the younger guy. He's the younger, more athletic fighter at this point. Now, Chris Eubank is hella athletic, super athlete. That's what really got him through. Chris Eubank Jr. could damn near play football or some shit. I can see his ass being a goddamn wide receiver or some shit like that, a safety or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Goddamn, you know what I'm saying? But he 32 now, right? Conor Benn 25 at this point. Let me wrench up young billionaire. I'll wait for you to come back. But yeah, but they both hella athletes, right? But I think Conor Benn is the better athlete at this point, right? In their career, I think Conor Benn is the better athlete. So he'll at least be able to, catch up to him. He'll at least be able to catch up to him, to make the fight look close, make the choreography, the geography of the fight look close, right? And I think that would be Edge Conor. So I don't really think Chris Eubank Jr. can afford to come out here, and fight this fight like he did his last one. Yeah, I got you, young B. I just rinsed you up. I don't think he can afford to come out here and fight this fight like he fought his last fight. I think and I think it's better for him. Now he gonna have to go through some shit because Conor Benn go touch him. But I think it's better for him if he is the one that apply pressure and make Conor Benn fight off the back foot. Because if Conor Benn is able to put you on the back foot, I think you making Conor Benn feel more at home. One, you making Conor Benn feel more at home. Two, right? The judges may just favor Benn because he putting you on the back foot. He went in the choreography of the fight, right? He went in the choreography of the fight, right? You know what I mean? So I just think it's better for Eubank Jr., right, to be the bigger man, to try to make Benn uncomfortable. Again, I want it to look like in order for Chris Eubank to win, right, it need to look like Josh Taylor versus Prograis, right? In order for Conor Benn to win, right? In order for Conor Benn to win, right, it would have to look like Dimitri Bivol versus Canelo Alvarez. Conor Benn would have to take that Dimitri Bivol approach, right? He walked Canelo down, but he did it, with his jab and with his straight combinations, right? He walked him full, but he did it. He had a tactic, he had a plan, right? He did it. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, he walked down Canelo, but he did it with combinations. What's the word I'm looking for? He did it with finesse. It's like he was the bigger fighter. Like he fought like the much bigger fighter, right? It's like from the jump, like Bivol came out and he said, "I'm walking towards you. I'm walking to you." He walked Canelo down, but he boxed him. He was outboxing him while he was walking him down. You know what I mean? It's like he was walking him down. He was throwing up the high guard. He was using head movement. You know what I mean? He was throwing these 1-2, like that 1-2 Conor Benn love to throw. People think Conor Benn is what's good, cop? People systematically, yeah, he did it systematically. Like he systematically walked him down. You know what I mean? Just like Conor Benn, Bivol got a good 1-2. A lot of people think Conor Benn be knocking people out with the hooks and shit like that. That's not true at all. Conor Benn is a guy. Conor Benn is a 1-2 guy. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all folks sliding through. Just John, if y'all could hit that like button for your boy, greatly appreciate it. If y'all really out here for a good time or a long time, y'all smash that like button for your boy. You know what I mean? So they both got the good, the good 1-2s, and they both got the hooks to the body. If Conor Benn is gonna win, he gonna have to fight him like Bivol fought Canelo. He gonna have to walk him down behind his consistent 1-2, because the thing with Benn is, Benn sometimes he'll be like, the thing with Benn is, and being my boy, sometimes Benn will be like, man, fuck that one. I'm just finna throw these 2. I'm a 2 your ass. You know what I mean? He's at the Bivol use intelligent pressure. Yeah, heavy bag. Intelligent pressure, yeah. Sometimes Conor Benn will be like, I'm just finna 2 your ass out, right? But I need him to focus more on his 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Like Bivol throw his 1-2, but Bivol 1 is to actually hit you. Sometimes Conor Benn 1 is just to throw you off to load up his 2. You know what I mean? In this fight with Eubank Jr., Conor Benn gonna have to throw his 1 a little bit more along with his 2, because he throw his 1 and 2, but he throw his 2 a little more. He gonna have to throw his 1 a little more to keep to control the line, for one, to keep Chris Eubank honest, because we know Chris Eubank, naturally, right? Chris Eubank is the bigger guy, but what I'm thinking, which is the reason why I'm picking Conor Benn, right? What I'm thinking is Chris Eubank go get in there and he go use his size to outbox Conor Benn, not use his size to beat up Conor Benn. I don't think naturally, because Eubank is, the kind of fighter who just go in there and beat you up, beat you. I think naturally he's a guy. He's a clean fighter. He don't want you to touch him. He want to stay clean, right? So he gonna keep you on the outside of the range. And I think he could do that with Conor Benn. So what Conor Benn gonna have to do to offset his jab is to throw his own, jab, cut the ring off, throw his own jab and throw his combinations like he do. Now I'm not saying that Conor Benn is a fucking Bivol. No, that's not what I'm saying. But offensively, they do have similarities, though. You know what I mean? So I need Conor Benn to kind of take a page out of Bivol junk, with the way that he fought, because he actually fought. He fought who who else kind of fought like that, but he didn't use his jab as much, right? He was throwing hooks with his, right? And he didn't use the footwork like Bivol did, because Bivol had to really. Now Bivol is really next level, right? It's hard to compare people to Bivol because that dude really next level with his footwork, with his offensive boxing bits, defense boxing. He really next level with this shit. Honestly, true enough. When you stop hating on him, do the motherfucker. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying Conor Benn is Bivol, but Conor Benn is athletic enough to take pages out of that Bivol handbook. You know what I'm saying? They both got a great two, right? Bivol got a much better one than Conor right now. You know what I mean? But they both got a great two. They both use they use it in different ways. Bivol one stick. When Bivol throwing his one, he throwing that bitch. He throwing his one like he's sticking it. Conor Benn might flick his one out there and he go knock your motherfucking ass out with that two. Now that's the thing that Bivol could get from Conor Benn is that killer mentality, right? That eat you, that I'm gonna eat your neck, I'm going for the throat, like I want blood. Now Bivol, if Bivol had that like Conor Benn, if Conor Benn had Bivol's jab, and if Bivol had Conor Benn mentality as far as his attack, boy, I'm telling you, there will be some bad motherfuckers. I'm telling you, there's like boy, Bivol will be. If Bivol had a killer's mentality like Benn, Zerto would be dead in the street, dog. Facts. If Bivol, with his ability right now, if he had a Conor Benn mentality, Zerto will be dead in the fucking street when they fight. Promise you that. Now Bivol still go beat Zerto, the much bigger Zerto. Watch how Bivol go in there and he fucked Zerto up. Sudden T told you first. Watch how he go in there, he fucked that man up. You know what I mean? But if he had that, he go Bivol. Now y'all finna get me talking about my boy Bivol. But nigga, Bivol go need that mentality for Zerto. He go have to go in there with that kill mentality. Don't go in there trying to box dude, because dude want to hurt you. Bivol, bite that nigga head off. Bite his motherfucking head off. Now what I need Conor to take from Bivol is that systematic pressure, because Conor Benn, he want to pressure you, right? But Conor Benn will follow you sometimes, right? He'll follow you instead of cutting the ring off. You know what I mean? He'll come in looking sometimes, and you could catch him with shit instead of using his jab and his head. He uses his head movement now. He picking up more of his head movement now, right? But he gotta do it consistently. Right, but his jab, I need him to now he picking up his head movement consistently, right? Now what I need for him to do is I need him to use his scoring jab more consistent, not his flicking jab. He used a flicking jab to get his right hand going, right? But I need him to use his scoring jab a little better in this fight. Add scoring jab with your head movement, and then throw the 2-3 behind it. You know what I mean? In this fight, that's what he gonna have to do to beat. He gonna have to fight him like Bivol did Canelo. You know what I mean? Make him, and that's what Conor Benn naturally do anyway. But he gonna have to be more defensively over this time. You know what I mean? And I think if he work on his jab more. Like if he throw his jab more, he was just scoring jab more. That'll help him defensively as well because he adding the head movement, right? I need him to add scoring jab, right? And I need him to cut the ring off a little more because he stalk his opponents at times. He start the fight off, cutting the ring off and shit. But once the fight get going, his juices get going. Once he land a few times, he starts to smell a little blood. You know what I mean? He start to feel his opponent. He get right back more to his natural self, and he get to just walking you full, stalking you. He get to stalking you. I need him to cut the ring. I need him to consistently cut the ring off in this fight. Cause I'm expecting Eubank to be on his bike. You know what I mean? I'm expecting him to be on his bike because I'm expecting Conor Benn's power to translate, right? So that's how I see Conor Benn winning this. It could get messy for both fighters though, you know what I mean? He that fact that B-Wild goes in that fight trying to box, he's going to lose. Yeah. Canelo is banking B-Wild lose. In fact, I already know. I already know he is. I already know you. Diaz said Eubank Jr. don't jab that much. He love to throw hooks on the inside. Yep. And I think that's why it's a good style matchup, Diaz, because Conor Benn throws straights. You know what I mean? Conor Benn throws straights, but when you touch Eubank, he get the, moving on the outside. He get that's when you start hitting him, that's when he get the moving and throwing his jab and boxing on the outside, Diaz. But I think that's he go. That's what I'm saying. In order for Eubank to win this fight, he gonna have to go through some shit because that's gonna be the best place for him. Diaz on the inside. He gonna have to hurt Conor Benn. He gonna have to stop Conor Benn. You know what I mean? He gonna have to hurt him. That's what I'm saying. I believe Eubank gonna have to go through some shit in order for him to win this fight. He ain't gonna be able to just be on his bike on the outside because I don't think the judge is gonna give it to him like that. And I think that's gonna put Conor Benn right in his natural habitat to just stalk him down and and inflict pain on him. You know what I mean? I think he gonna have to get on the inside with him, Diaz, to deliver his shit and do what he got to do. I'm talking about Chris Eubank Jr. now. He gonna have to get on the inside because he gonna have to be the bigger guy, the stronger guy. Don't you come out here trying to box Conor Benn because that's gonna get you fucked up. That's gonna get you a loss at the end of the night. You're gonna be looking real confused. You know what I mean? He gonna have to get on the inside of Conor Benn, throw them hooks. But that's gonna also put him in position for Conor Benn and hit him. So I think he gonna have to go through some shit for sure. But I ain't gonna hold y'all up too long. I appreciate y'all folks sliding through this junk. Y'all can go on about y'all night, man. I'm finna go do the same motherfucking thing. I really wasn't planning on to be on this long. I ain't think all y'all was coming through this jump, but the basis of this video was basically just to tell y'all before I got to rambling on for an hour, right? That team Chris Eubank Jr. said that the fight is still on. They said that was Chris Eubank senior voicing his opinion about the fight and what he thought, but the contract that they got is with Chris Eubank Jr. and team Chris Eubank Jr. said that everything is still going on as planned. You know what I mean? I think, those last gasps at an attempt to try to get the hydration clause, the rehydration clause removed. You know what I mean? Because Team Eubank has been bringing up weight a whole lot in this situation. Now whether he bringing it up seriously or he bringing it up making a joke or trying to downplay it or whatnot, weight has been in Team Eubank mouth a whole lot. So I do think they do want their rehydration clause gone. Because Eubank Jr. himself said that, I don't think I got to do in this joint is make the weight. I bet Chris Eubank Jr. said, I don't think the hardest part for me is going to be I just got to make the weight. That's it. You know what I mean? That's going to be the hard part. So he already said it out of his mouth. So I do think that's kind of becoming the issue. Chris Eubank Jr. also said that he just started training camp 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? When they did their first press conference. Whenever the first press conference was, that's when Chris Eubank Jr. started training camp because he said it. You know what I mean? Now, some people say he playing mind games and whatnot, but they keep bringing up the weight for a reason. But the fight is still on. You know what I mean? It's coming straight for Team Eubank. The fight is still on. So the fight's supposed to take place October 8th. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be waiting for more news, to come out of this thing. You know what I mean? I think actually indirectly, that helped this fight a little bit because now more people are at least paying attention to it. They recognize that they fight October 8th now. You know what I mean? Type deal. But that's all I got, man. Skin the heart away, something T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. This the present. This how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.